is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome in, everybody. It is Main Street today. I'm so glad that you're here. It is Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. I've been so busy, I'm having to pick up my phone to see what day it is. But I do know it's a day for bad, severe weather coming in the middle of the day. So keep your eyes on the skies. Make sure that you have a good, dependable weather app. Scooter Nashville from WLAC may join us a little bit later, depending upon what's going on with the weather. I've sent him a link, so hopefully he can join us. There's so much severe weather coming in, and we just want you to be really careful wherever you are. And I always say it all starts with a plan. Weather may not be bad. Something may not happen. But do you know where you're going to go? Do you know what you're going to do? Have a plan. And make sure everybody in your family knows what the plan is. And then you don't have a problem. And at the end of the day, it's all stuff, right? But just make sure that you are safe. Well, speaking of safe, it's Waggin Tails Wednesday. I hope that you are having a great, great day. And we like to spotlight different people and different organizations in Middle Tennessee doing wonderful things for our furry folks. And this one is a very special place. It's called Safe Harbor Sanctuary. And they literally get help from volunteers and farms all over Middle Tennessee. Safe Harbor takes in horses, and they take in dogs and cats, and they literally are the most amazing organization ever. And my friend Elizabeth Howe tells us a little bit about it. And a big thank you for this footage from Live Green, Tennessee.
I have had horses since I was 9 years old. My first word was horse. So I always wanted one, and my dad made me start out by cleaning stalls and working around horses because they are a lot of work and they take a huge time commitment, and he wanted to make sure it wasn't just a phase. So kind of got away from horses a little bit when I went to college, but when I was able to afford my own horse again, I wanted a rescue. I wanted something I could take from not knowing anything and make my own from the ground up. And I started doing a little bit of independent rescue, and then I learned about Safe Harbor and what they were doing, and it just seemed to make sense to go help an organization that was doing something on such a much larger scale than what I would ever be able to do on my own. We have a network of foster farms, about 24 farms, as far east as Crossville, south into Murray County, north into Franklin, Kentucky. So we're spread out over a pretty wide area. Some of the farms have more than one Safe Harbor horse, some just have one. The founders were doing dog rescue, and a lot of times people who neglect dogs or cats or other animals have a wide range of animals. And at the time, there wasn't a rescue association or organization that could handle large animal rescues of any sort of scale. They actually got a couple of horses out of a dog rescue and started Safe Harbor to be able to help those horses and continue to help horses and fill that need. Pretty much any livestock. We do donkeys, we do goats. We have a goat herd back here that will never be adopted. They were never socialized, so they just kind of hang out and do their own goat thing. We have about 10 goats right now that are available for adoption. We have 2 steers that are in sanctuary, which means that they'll live in rescue for the rest of their lives, basically, so they don't become hamburger. We do chickens. A lot of times, Metro Davidson County will pick up stray chickens and call us, and they'll be placed through us at new homes where they won't become dinner. We've had alpacas in the rescue. We've had llamas in the rescue. So I think Tennessee is the 4th or the 6th largest horse population in the country. So they're a big contributor to the economy, first of all, and it's not just walking horses, it's quarter horses and Morgans and Pasafinos and any breed you can name. People use the horse trails all around. And I think that horses help people just appreciate being outside and the respect for nature. And if you trail ride, you appreciate not leaving your litter behind and not destroying the land around you and what God created. There's that, and then there's also the aspect of horse abuse and neglect cases go through the Department of Ag quite a bit. So if anybody sees a horse that they think is not being taken care of, they can report that to the Department of Ag, and one of the state veterinarians will follow up on that and investigate the complaints.
I just absolutely love what they do. I have a blind steer named Stevie Wonder, and the transport was provided by the folks at Safe Harbor. So I am grateful to them and what they do every single day. And if you'd like to volunteer, a lot of people can't have horses where they are, but they'd like to volunteer. Safe Harbor is a great place for you to volunteer. And speaking of horses, I don't know if you can see this, but my friend Templeton Thompson has a brand new CD. It is called Get Back Up, and it is inspiring. She is just a hippie chick cowgirl. I wore my cowgirl shirt today just because I was going to play the brand new single from Templeton Thompson. She is fantastic. The album, you can find it wherever you find music. Songs like Recover, When I Get That Pony Rode, In This Rodeo, Don't Throw Me Away, Unbranded, I Will Find You, A Reckoning, Ride a Wild Circle with Michael Martin Murphey. I mean, it's just great music. And I'll give you an example of it right now. Templeton Thompson.
Never saw it coming, happened all at once, and now, this is now. And I can let it break me, I can let it take me down, all the way down. But that's not how I'm made. I won't be afraid. I'll get back up, get back on and ride. I got dreams to chase and I ain't the quitting kind. I got miles and miles and miles to go, and this ain't my last rodeo. No, I'll get back up, get back on and ride, 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 ride. Every day's another chance to take a leap of faith, find a way onward. And I can feel you with me every single step I take. You make me stronger. Turn and face the sun. Let this pony run and get back up, get back on and ride. I got dreams to chase and I ain't the quitting kind. Yeah, I know I got miles to go, every day's another chance to take a leap of faith. Find a way onward.
And is that not incredible? I'm just absolutely blown away. So Templeton Thompson, you can follow her on social media. She and her husband Sam Gay are just an amazing pair. You can follow a lot of her horse videos. And I agree with you, Elizabeth. That cover does make me feel free. I love it. Anyway, lots of good stuff coming up. In August, we're going to Gatlinburg. I'm going to be live doing my shows from Gatlinburg, and the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is going on. If you don't know about it, you can become a member and support the songwriters at Gatlinburg. If you love beautiful scenery and beautiful songs, well, here
Hey
it is.
everybody, I'm Cara Hogan and I'm the Executive Director of the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival. The Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is a 3-day music event in and around Gatlinburg and the Smoky Mountains, August 18 through 21. The festival is all around Gatlinburg and surrounding areas. There are free performances with 100 #1 hit songwriters and artists on stages like Old Red, Skylift Park, Old Smoky, the Gatlinburg Inn, Park Vista, and many more, including the new Shine Shack. The Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is made up of over 25 #1 hit songwriters. We also have selected songwriters from all levels. Some are new to songwriting, others have 5, 10 CDs. They're playing all over the city, and you can actually sit down and get to know your favorite songwriter, the story behind the song. So if you're interested in songwriting, you can actually set up a workshop with a hit songwriter and learn the craft from the ground up. We do have free songwriting events throughout the city every day. There are a few that are paid. Some of those you can reach if you're a member. Membership includes newsletter and perks, discounts. All of those things are available if you're a member, and you can find out about membership at www.gatlinburgsongwriters.com. One of the greatest things about the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is that you can sit down with songwriters like Tony Arata, who wrote The Dance for Garth Brooks, or Steve Dean, who wrote Watching You for Rodney Atkins. Last year we had Shane Stevens, who was here with the song Fancy Like, which was an Applebee's ad, and it went #1 during the festival. You could be right there with those songwriters and hear the backstory of where those songs came from. Other songwriters include Will Nance, Brady Seals, Pete Salas, Jerry Salley. We have Brian White, Danny Wells, Karen Williams, and we also have local favorite Bobby Tomberlin, who's performed here for years and years at Crystal Creek. He wrote One More Day by Diamond Rio. So plan your trip today for August 18 through 21, 2022 to Gatlinburg to visit the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival. See you there.
Well, speaking of festivals, I've told everybody I would be vegetarian if it weren't for one thing: bacon. Bacon has me. It just has me. I am held hostage by bacon. And when I saw the name of this festival coming up in Murfreesboro, the 3rd annual Bacon Festival, September 10th from 11 to 7 with food trucks and artisans. And oh my gosh, I just cannot wait to get to talk to the couple. This is their brainchild, Odell Markets, creating great events all across Middle Tennessee. How are you guys today?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Just fantastic. You guys don't just do one festival, you do lots of festivals, and you've got the Bacon Festival coming up. What are some, how did this even start as a company for you guys?
Well, me and the wife, we were interested in having festivals. We used to do a lot of craft markets and stuff. And we noticed that there wasn't too many family-friendly festivals with there's other bacon festivals, but usually they involve some type of alcohol or something. So we tried to open it up for just kids and everybody else so the whole family can enjoy it.
What a brilliant thing. You know, I was told one time I did a festival myself. I put one on, and so I know a little bit of what you speak. It was just to raise money for flood victims, and I did it for the Red Cross. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So my heart and my my hands go up for you, because it was a crazy thing. But when I said I didn't want alcohol sold, they said, "You're crazy. You can't do that." Well, guess what? I could do that, and it did work, and it was packed, and people showed up like crazy, bringing their little kids, and they were getting their faces painted. And this is what you're talking about with Odell Markets. We've got the Bacon Festival that's going to take place in Murfreesboro. What are some things that you need? I know that, is it still time for vendors to sign up for this?
It is. We have a few spots left for vendors. We're also looking for a few more sponsors. We're looking for stage sponsors. All of that information is on our website, though, for both the vendors and the sponsors.
What I like, too, is that sometimes you go to a festival and you've got like 20 people selling the same thing. You really work on exclusivity. You don't have 20 people selling one thing. And you actually, I went to your website yesterday, and I thought you said, well, we're full of this, and this. So I love that. So if you're a vendor, you have to not only get in time to be a vendor, but you have to be a vendor of the right thing.
Correct. We don't like to have duplicates at all. We may have one or two of the same, but they have to have different things or unique things to be the same category.
Well, where will the Bacon Festival take place this year in September?
It's at SportsCom.
SportsCom. Now, right on the heels of that, you've got a fall festival coming up. Now, this is I'm telling you, Murfreesboro's got it going on, because we're going to talk about the festival right on the heels of that for fall, and for kids who like to trick or treat, a safe place to take your kids. Let's talk about that festival.
Well, that festival's pretty fun. Everybody is handing out candy and stuff like that, like all of our vendors. And we usually have like costume, like all the kids running around in costumes and stuff. And it's just it's a great family fun event too.
Yeah, we've also got the free inflatables, and we've got a free kids craft usually. It's just a fun day out for families, and also a nice day to go shopping at our vendors.
Well, I want to put a plea out there and just say, hey, you guys, if you have families as your customer base, I want to encourage you to go to odellmarkets.com and be a part. You've got a holiday market right after that. So Christmas is covered. The Halloween fall season harvest is covered. You've got bacon in September. I'm going to be there for the Bacon Festival. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be there getting some pictures so everybody knows. Family friendly. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here on your show with you.
Well, I would encourage everybody, if you want to find good family entertainment and you're within driving distance of Murfreesboro, I mean, like, who isn't? It's like incredible. So go to odellmarkets.com. Thank you guys for your time. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye.
All right. Bye. Take care. You know, I also like when families get to do things together, and husband and wife teams who say, hey, we're going to create this business. And I love supporting that. And that's what we do here. My friend Scooter Nashville joins us from WLAC. My buddy, how are you?
Hey, Devin. I am fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing just great. And see, and people know him as news director. They know him as announcer and producer of shows at Clear Channel. But
Pick
his
up
heart,
trash, whatever.
yeah.
I do whatever they ask. You tell me what to do, I'll go do it. That's that's the way it works. You know how radio is.
I do know how radio is, but I do also know that, Scooter, you have a heart of a meteorologist. That is what you have loved your entire life. And one of my favorite weather memories, and I don't know if I call it favorite, but most noted, was when I was with you the day there was this tornado going across Birmingham.
Yeah, it was the 11th of April back in 2011. I remember that.
You pulled me over to the screen and you said, oh my God, this is devastating.
I have family in Birmingham, so that was very concerning to me. And of course, that storm had rolled through Tuscaloosa. It was EF4 at that point, and just did considerable damage and so much loss of life. It was, they call it a generational type event. And I pray we never have that sort of event here, but inevitably there will be one at some point somewhere close by. It's just the way it works. So that's why I'm fascinated by this science, because it allows people to learn what to do, how to prepare and best protect themselves for the time if it does happen.
That's what I said. If people have a plan and their family knows the plan, you protect your life, because stuff can be replaced and life you can't replace. So that's the deal. Let's have your plan. Let's talk about what's happening in Middle Tennessee today.
Sure. We've got and actually I just looked right at 11:15 or so, they issued a new convective outlook. This is a product that the Storm Protection Center issues several times daily. They update it as conditions change. And earlier this morning, we were in a slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5 chance for severe weather within a given number of miles of any particular point within that risk area. They have since shifted that a little further east, so we are now at a 1 out of 5 chance. The chance going down, and that is good news. We knew that there was going to be a very limited window with the potential for severe weather for us. We do have some significant instability in the area now. Temperatures here in the Nashville area are in the mid 60s. They're also in the mid to upper 60s east of us, and south they're in the 70s. And dew points are way up. And so that's where if we see development of storms, it's going to be south of Nashville, and they'll eventually work their way east onto the plateau and southern eastern Middle Tennessee around Chattanooga, back towards Knoxville and that area. That's where they've maintained the enhanced value for the remainder of the afternoon.
You are so good at what you do. I have never known dew point. I had no earthly idea that meant anything to anyone. And you know the science behind it. That's why I wanted to talk to you specifically. And I'm grateful. Everybody worries about tornadoes. Yeah. Everybody worries about tornadoes. But I will tell you that straight line winds can do as much damage, and people don't pay attention to those. They go, whatever. But flying debris is flying debris.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. A straight line wind event that has 80-mile-an-hour winds that come through and knock over buildings that are not well constructed, or, the infrastructure, the power infrastructure. You have so many trees in this area. They all take out power lines. It affects life. So, yeah, a straight line wind event can easily have the same result as a tornado. So that's why you have to really pay attention to them. And they don't issue typically tornado warnings for things like that. They will issue a severe thunderstorm warning, and we've become very complacent because there's so many of those issued. A lot of people ignore them, and it's not a good idea. They're trying to work on, I think, the science of how they issue these warnings to get more people to realize, hey, you need to listen to this one. This is important. The other one is, there's a really good chance this is going to happen, so you should prepare. But they're coming up with different ways to do that. So I'm sure as time goes on, that warning process will evolve. It's been evolving for a long time.
Right.
And we're learning more. I mean, the one thing that you can say, social media has really helped, I think, weather and meteorologists understand how people get this information, what they do with it, and how they use it. What do they do when they see a severe thunderstorm warning? Well, right now they go, don't care. But
it's rain.
It's going to be a little windy. But sometimes you really have to pay attention, because sometimes you'll have a line of thunderstorms with winds gusting up to 80, 90 miles an hour along that line that will roll through, and it will have the same result as a tornado that moves across. And it's a bigger area because it's in a line or in a bow portion of a thunderstorm.
Yeah. Trees around the house are an issue. So make sure that, and where you park your car, where you are driving, those are all important things. And lightning, do not ignore lightning. Lightning can strike people. The numbers on lightning strikes have gone up through the years because people have quit paying attention.
Well, they'll be at an event now. That's one thing I will say. They've gone up, but it's fortunate that a lot of sporting organizations and public venues that have events in the outdoors now have access to data that tells them, hey, we've had a lightning strike within that number of miles of this location, so they can get people to shelter and out of harm's way for lightning. Now, and oftentimes you'll see that in sporting events during the summer months, baseball games, they'll pull the crowd out of the stands and put them back and let the storm pass, and then you continue with the game. So yeah, while that's true, they've gone up because people do ignore it. The good news is, as an organization, businesses and venues and things like that have responsibilities for people's safety, have done a really good job of trying to stay updated on this.
Well, I appreciate your time today, and I know. And where can people watch or listen whenever you're doing your updates at WLAC?
They can go on air at our radio station, Talk Radio 98.3 and 1510 WLAC. We always update it there with the help of the Weather Channel. We also do on our Facebook page at WLAC. And I just naturally am one of those guys who posts stuff all the time myself. So it's there.
Well, we encourage everybody, get your weather apps and all of your alarms ready just in case something happens. But if you've got family down south, make sure you let them know something's coming. Thank you so much for your time, Scooter. I know it's a busy day for you.
Love you, Devin.
Love you too, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you have horses, we were talking about safe harbor. People think, well, I need to put my horses in a barn during a severe weather. An old horseman told me one time, he said, look, horses have an innate ability to try to stay healthy and stay safe. And you can tell where the storm's coming from because horses will face it. But if they are locked in a barn, they can't get out. And from personal experience, I had a barn that was hit by straight line winds and literally took the roof down. No horses were hurt, but I will never lock a horse in a barn again. I'm just not. I've had a barn struck by lightning and burned in 10 minutes. Horses were not inside. You hear things every year about things, and people think, oh, I'm doing so much to protect my horse. No, horses weren't created necessarily. They can deal with weather. They can deal with what they can, get, but they cannot deal with a lock. They can't deal with being locked in. So just want to let you know that if you have horses and it's there's severe weather, let them out. They have a stronger chance than if the barn comes down. My friends over at Hidden Acres know that they were hit by the tornadoes that went through, and thank the Lord, no horses were harmed fatally, but there were some that were harmed because the roof came down on some of those horses that were locked in their stalls, and you can't do anything about it during a weather event. Back to Safe Harbor. Before we get out of here, people have been messaging, how can we help Safe Harbor Sanctuary? First of all, safeharborsanctuary.org in Tennessee. You can go to the website. They have these gorgeous t-shirts with Red Willow, one of their wonderful horses that they've had. They're one of their spirit horses, as it were. And they've got a big saddle blowout spring cleaning sale, and they've got tack from $50 to $800, both Western and English clothing and assorted tack and polos. They've got artwork, and Silver Lining Stables in Cottontown, Tennessee is where it is. You can get all the details at Safe Harbor Sanctuary on Facebook. Now, we just missed this event, and I'm doing this just because I think it's funny. He don't need those nuts. Geld him free, Saturday, April 2nd. From time to time, Safe Harbor has gelding clinics. And so there you go. And if you would like to sponsor a horse, you can sponsor a horse by as small as $5. We'll give them a bale of hay. And if you want to buy a bag of feed, Rubensville Farmers Feed Mill, you can call in, and Rubensville Feed Mill in Portland, Tennessee, talk to Jeremy and say, I want to put some money on the on the Safe Harbor account. Their number is 615-325-3651. You can also sponsor a whole horse for a month, $20, get some bag of feed, and then you can, anything from $200 and up, you can have that horse and call him yours for that month. You can volunteer for their organization. Maybe you would like to use, if you have a lot of horse knowledge and maybe you are horseless at the moment and you'd like to be a foster at your farm, you can do that as well. That's our show for today. I hope that you guys have a safe, wonderful rest of your day, and keep your eyes on the skies. Thanks to Scooter for jumping in there and giving us a weather report and knowing that we're going to probably skirt the old really dangerous weather. Elizabeth, you're exactly right. Always good to have incoming storm info. And I just think he's a hidden resource, because people are on radio. Sometimes you don't realize that they're not standing in front of a weather map somewhere, but he is just a weather genius. And I defer to him all the time. And I follow him on the WLAC Facebook page. And if Scooter says it, chances are it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. So follow him wherever he is. You guys have a great rest of your day. Be safe, be kind. Remember, most of all, you are loved.
Nothing like the sunrise with your coffee in the morning, or taking a good book off the shelf. Another thing I love the most than being on my own is together with everybody else. Together, like it's early Sunday summer. Together, on my front porch with my friends. Together with who's ever there, standing next to me. Yeah, together is my favorite place to be.